chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for attending the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi in Canada.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Prayers to Yeshumati Mataji for the speedy recovery. She is sick, she is in the hospital. Requesting everyone to please pray for her. She is one of the devotee who joins us every single day and chant very nicely early morning and mid morning. Requesting everyone to please pray for her.
Very good. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. We request all the devotees to please pray for Yeshumati Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Nanda Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna. And praying for Yasumati Mataji for her speedy recovery.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call and leading your valuable association. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anand Shah from West Bengal.
Hare Krishna, I am Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much for joining the call. Hare Krishna, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah.
Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji, Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devdasi.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, the devotees who would like to introduce themselves.
Hare Krishna, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Mataji, shall we start, Mataji? Because Prabhuji is already on the call. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Suvarna Gaura Hari Prabhuji on the call to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, sloka number 9. Before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to ask Aditi Mataji to give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Mataji, please take over the call.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. And this is a brief introduction for His Grace, Suvarna Gaura Hari Prabhuji. Suvarna Gaura Hari Prabhuji is director of ISKCON Youth Forum, South Bengaluru. He is a spiritual mentor at ISKCON South Bengaluru. Prabhuji did his BE in Electronics and Communications from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Worked with IBM ISL for 4 years as associate software engineer. Prabhuji was interested in reading and learning spiritual books from young age. He has studied Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavat Purana systematically, living the life of a monk since last 10 years at ISKCON Ashram. Got initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2012. Prabhuji has given helpful seminars in various colleges like RVCE, NIT Trichy, NITK Surathkal, PICT Pune, BJ Medical Pune, etc. Also visited schools and colleges in Bangalore, Mysuru, Mangalore, Puttur, etc. for doing value-based educational programs based on Bhagavad Gita. Suvarna Gaura Prabhuji has youth website called iysouthbangaluru.in, and he has an English YouTube channel as well and Kannada YouTube channel. Over to you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam to Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the introduction. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Please accept our humble obeisances. All the respects to Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening of the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Nandapriya Narmada Mataji and Aditi Devi Mataji, for inviting me here for this program, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity, because it's a great fortune to speak about Krishna and especially this great literature of Srimad Bhagavatam. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaha Paraswaram Katayantascha Mantyam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. So devotees take pleasure in discussing Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. So there's an opportunity for me. So today I have been given this shloka from Canto 7, Chapter 6, Shloka number 9. I'll share it here on the screen as well. 7.6.9. This is from the chapter entitled Teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad's instruction, instruct his demonic schoolmates. We'll read the verse in translation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. So the verse goes like this. Ko griheshu puman saktam Atmanam Ajitindriyaha Sneha Pashair Dridhair Baddham Utsaheta Vimochitam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What person too attached to household life, due to being unable to control his senses, can liberate himself? An attached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, and other relatives. Purport. So this is a little longer purport, so I request devotees to pay attention. Prabhupada speaks about many important points, especially about brahmachari training in this purport. Prahlad Maharaj's first proposal was Kaumara Acharet Pragnyo Dharman Bhagavadaniha. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. Dharman Bhagavatam means the religious principle of reviving our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this purpose, Krishna personally advises Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. While in the material world we manufacture so many duties in the name of so many isms, but our actual duty is to free ourselves from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. For this purpose, one must first be liberated from material bondage, and especially from household life. Household life is actually a kind of license for a material attached person by which to enjoy sense gratification under regulative principles. Otherwise, there is no need of entering household life. Before entering household life, one should be trained as a brahmachari, living under the care of the guru, whose place is known as Gurukula. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasantanto Gurorhitam. From the very beginning, a brahmachari is trained to sacrifice everything for the benefit of the guru. A brahmachari is advised to go begging alms door to door, addressing all women as mother, and whatever he collects goes to the benefit of the guru. In this way, he learns how to control his senses and sacrifice everything for the guru. When he is fully trained, if he likes, he is allowed to marry. Thus, he is not an ordinary grihastha who has learned only how to satisfy his senses. A trained grihastha can gradually give up household life and go to the forest to become increasingly enlightened in spiritual life and at last take sannyasa. Prahlad Maharaja explained to his father that to be freed from all material anxieties, one should go to the forest. Hitvatma patam grahamanda kopam. One should give up his household, which is a place for going further and further down into the darkest regions of material existence. The first advice, therefore, is that one must give up household life. Graham andagopam. However, if one prefers to remain in the dark well of household life because of uncontrolled senses, he becomes increasingly entangled by ropes of affection for his wife, children, servants, house, money, and so on. Such a person cannot attain liberation from material bondage. Therefore, children should be taught from the very beginning of life to be first-class brahmacharis. Then it will be possible for them to give up household life in the future. To return home back to Godhead, one must be completely free from material attachment. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya Vidya, the art that can help one develop a distaste for material enjoyment. Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Jayat Ahetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. If one engages in devotional service from the beginning of life, he easily attains Vairagya Vidya or Asakti, detachment, and becomes Jitendriya, the controller of his senses. One who perfectly engages in devotional service is therefore called Goswami or Swami, master of the senses. Unless one is master of the senses, he should not accept the renounced order of life, sannyasa. A strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of the material body. Without full knowledge, one cannot be unattached to material enjoyment. But as long as one is not in that position, one is not fit to return home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sarivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanilamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatavani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratase Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Purti Vacharanam Pangam Nangete Yat Prabhatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanandam Shri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. So this verse today, in this verse today, Prahlad Maharaj is talking about the pitfalls of family life and also the importance of brahmachari training. And the verse goes like this: Ko gruheshu puman saktam atmanam ajitendriyaha sneha pashe dhrir baddham utsaheta vimochitam. So a person who is bound by material attachments to his family, right? Wife, children, home, wealth, relatives, friends, he will not be able to give up his family life. Now, why this family life is being spoken here? Because Prahlad Maharaj in the sequence of verses, he is telling that how a person who is born in this world, when he's growing in life, suppose a person lives for 100 years, most of the lifespan is wasted in sense gratification. Because first 20 years is wasted in just playing. Balasya Mugdha Kaishore, it is said, right? So in childhood, in Mugdhata, in innocence, 20 years is wasted. And next 20 years is wasted in playing. Then another last 20 years is wasted in old age because he is not capable of doing anything. And in between, 50% of his life is wasted in sleeping and sense gratification. And remaining 50% of the life is utilized for working hard for money, right? So how much time actually remains for practicing serious Krishna consciousness is very, very, very less. And in that also, if a person's mind is uncontrolled, that little time which is remaining, that is also wasted by developing attachments to family, friends, and wealth. It is said here, one whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of unsatiable, lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in devotional service. So that little bit time which is remaining, that is also wasted in sense gratification. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that while entering into family life, one should also make a plan to get disentangled from it. So this is a very nice topic to discuss among the brahmacharis and grihasthas. Brahmacharis who are going to get married, and also grihasthas who got married, and going into Vanaprastha stage is a very, very vital topic. As all of you know, there are four stages of life. There is Brahmachari life, there is Grihastha life, there is Vanaprastha life, and Sannyasa life. Right? So this Varnashrama, this ashrama, four ashramas, are designed in such a way that any person who is born is gradually elevated in Krishna consciousness if one receives proper training. But if that proper training has not been given, then the entire life gets wasted. So Prahlad Maharaj began his instruction by telling Kaumara Acharit Prajnaha. An intelligent man, a Prajna, should begin the devotional service at the age of 5. So now, unfortunately, now many of us begin our Krishna consciousness little late, as some might have begun their Krishna consciousness in their youth, like I did, and some of them in middle age. Some of them start their Krishna consciousness in old age. But those children who start their Krishna consciousness at the age of 5, they are really special and really very fortunate. Because Kaumara Acharit Prajna, at the tender age, they are getting the seed of bhakti. And because they have received that proper training at the age of 5, as they grow in Krishna consciousness, their consciousness blossoms further. With age, their consciousness blossoms further because they're getting the right environment, they're getting the right kind of training and education, like parents. So they grow very fast. Actually, Prabhu says that such birth is very, very rare. Etadhi durlabhataram loke janmayad idrisham. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter says that those children born in devotee families are very, very, very special. Why? Because in the past life they have done some good spiritual activities by which they have developed that sukruti, and because they have developed that sukruti, they are directly born in devotee families. But others who go to Swarga, then again come down, Kshene, Punya, Martya, Lokam, Vishanti, right? There is direct path, there is indirect path. So those who go through this indirect path, they attain Sukruti, they go to Swarga and they come down, and they are born in rich family or a Brahman family. So that path is little long. But those people who have performed good amount of bhakti, after they die, they are directly born in devotee family and they start their Krishna consciousness at the age of 5. So they're really, really very fortunate. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized that devotees should take care of their children very nicely by giving a favorable environment to them, and especially by training them in brahmacharya and training them in chastity. If it is a boy, then training them in brahmachari principles, and if she's a girl, then training in principles of chastity. So in this way, that acts as a great foundation. Like Srila Prabhupada writes here in this purport, in the second paragraph. First paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes that we have got this human body, so we should use it in Krishna consciousness. Right? Human birth is very, very rare. So one of the acharyas says that first of all, to get human body is very rare. Out of 84 lakh species, only 4 lakh is human species. And to get human birth, that too in a very pious place, is very, very rare. After getting human birth, to get a desire to practice spirituality is also very rare. We see so many humans, like 7 billion humans are there on this planet. How many of them are practicing spirituality? Very tiny, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye. 1 in 1,000 person may be interested in spirituality. That's all. Then Yatatam api Siddhanam Kaschinma Vyati Tatvataha. Among those people who are endeavoring to know God, hardly 1 person, 1 in 1,000 knows God. So if you go by this calculation, the number of people interested in spirituality is very, very less. Most of the people are wasting their time in materialistic activities of sense gratification. Hasn't it? Srila Prabhupada used to joke saying that one old man is sitting in a garden where there is a pond, and is catching fish with his what is this instrument. So he has got a human body, and he is also becoming old. Death is going to come soon. Why not practice spirituality? But instead of practicing spirituality, Krishna consciousness, they're doing wasting their time. Once Srila Prabhupada went to Hawaii beach, and he saw many surfers surfing on the waves of the ocean. And some were big waves which were coming, and surfers are going up like this and coming down like this, and they're playing with the waves. And Prabhupada is curious, yes, what are they doing? Prabhupada, they are surfing. Suffering? No, Prabhupada, they are surfing. No, actually they are suffering. So Srila Prabhupada gave philosophical insight into this. So they are playing like a fish on the surface of the water. They are preparing to become fishes in the next life. Because they're playing like a fish, they're developing their subtle body, their desires to be like a fish. So next life, there's good chance that they become fishes or sharks, and they can swim very easily in the water. So actually they're preparing for their suffering in the next life. And when they become fish, somebody will come and hunt them and capture them and eat them. So they're preparing for suffering in the next life. So this is called Krishna consciousness, seeing behind the enjoyment. And Srila Prabhupada makes very important point here, the last point which he made. A strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of the material body. A simple statement, but very deep point. A strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of our material body. And when you see a person enjoying material sense gratification, we should understand that that is the cause of his misery. The pleasure which one derives by doing sense gratification, that pleasure is the enemy of the soul. Right? Srila Prabhupada writes it at another place. That pleasure is the enemy of the soul, because that pleasure which he gets, little pleasure which he gets by doing the sense gratification, makes him bound to this material world. And that little pleasure gives him hope that I can get more, I can get more, I want more and more and more. Right? Dura purena kamena, right? Last sloka said, Dura purena kamena, the strong, insatiable desire to enjoy grows. Dushpurena analena cha, just like fire is there, and you put ghee on it. You pour ghee, it grows, it blazes like anything. So more you pour ghee, more it blazes. Similarly, sense gratification is like that. If you do little, you want to do more. Then you want to do more and more and more and more and more. That is the nature of sense gratification. Prahlad Maharaj, he is just 5 years old. He has such maturity that he is able to explain such deep concepts in his teachings. Prahlad Maharaj says that this desire to sense gratify is like an itch, right? I'm sure all of us have experience of itching, and sometimes we have itching on the back. So we itch. Once we itch, we feel very comfortable. Okay, the itch is gone. After that, again we feel the sensation. Again we itch, right? So after itching for 10 times, you see in the mirror that whole portion has become reddish, right? And later on it starts paining. Why? Initially that itch, little bit sense gratification appears very pleasurable. And the person thinks, if I do more, I'll get more pleasure. So then Prahlad Maharaj says, no. Kando yanena karayoriva dukkha dukkham tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja kando tivam manasijam vishayata dira. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that this itching sensation eventually leads to dukkha dukkham. So it's very, very painful. So the desire to enjoy creates an impression in the mind. Actually, the desires are stored in the subtle body, right? So we have gross body, we have subtle body, and we have the soul inside. We are inside the covering of gross and subtle bodies. So when we do any activity, when any act of sense gratification, the impressions are stored in the mind. There are two kinds of impressions. One is the actual experience of that activity, pleasure. And second is that I want to do it again. That's another impression. Right? When you do a sense certificate activity, you get some pleasure or pain out of it, and then the impression is stored in the mind, and then we also want to do it again. So that impression is stored. So that impression becomes the cause of our next birth. The body of desires, the subtle body, leads to taking another birth. So Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness means to purify the subtle body so that in the next life, he goes to Krishna. Spirituality is not just making a show of wearing dhoti kurta tilak and a particular hairstyle and wearing a bead bag, but still harboring desires for certification. No. Spirituality means what? Krishna consciousness means what? Purifying our consciousness to think of Krishna, so that when we think of Krishna, we can go to Krishna Loka next life. Because when you think of Krishna, the subtle body gets purified, and no more desires for sense gratification. Only the desire to serve Krishna remains. Then we go back to Krishna. We go to Vaikuntha, and because we don't have any desire to enjoy. Jarayati ashu yakosham nigiranam anuloyatha. And the process by which we can purify our subtle body is bhakti. Jarayati ashu yakosham nigiranam anuloyatha. Third canto Srimad Bhagavatam says that by practice of bhakti, what happens is our subtle body becomes dissolved. The subtle body ceases to exist. There are no more material desires. Only desires to serve Krishna prevail. And at that stage, he can go from material world to spiritual world. So as I'm also speaking the story of Puranjana in another group. Let's take the example of Puranjana. Right? How many of you heard the story of Puranjana here? Okay. I see one or two hands raising. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, I think I'll tell a little bit story of this Puranjana. This comes in 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. There was one king, his name was Puranjana, and he was searching for happiness, and he comes to a place on the southern part of the Himalayas, and there's a beautiful city which he finds there. And that place, there's a city of 9 gates. There are 9 gates through which you can enter into that city. And it had nice ponds and lakes and roads and buildings and gardens, and marketplaces. Very, very beautiful place. He entered inside, then he found a girl inside. There's a nice, beautiful lady. Her name was Puranjani. And then he got attracted to Puranjani and he got married to Puranjani. And Puranjani had many associates, bodyguards, 11 bodyguards. And with them, he started living happily in that kingdom, in that city of 9 gates. And he became, a long story, I'm just cutting it short. He became so attached to his wife, and through his wife, he got about 1,000 sons and hundreds of daughters. And through those sons and daughters, after their marriage, each one of them got hundreds and hundreds of sons and daughters. In this way, the whole city became populated with so many of his family members, right? And eventually what happened? Death came. He became old. And when death came, he died thinking of his wife, because he was very attached to his wife and children. He was very attached to his wife. Because he was attached to his wife, he was thinking of his wife, and all the memories were there in his mind. So next life, Puranjana had to take a female body. So Puranjana was a king. In the next life, he became a princess called Vaidharvi. And this Vaidharvi was in female body, the same soul. Soul has no gender, like male and female. Soul is Prakriti, energy of Krishna. So that soul, which is in male body before, became a female in the next life. And somehow, by great fortune, she got a devotee husband. Her husband was a great devotee. His name was Malayadhvaja. So because of his association, Vaidarvi developed spiritual inclination. And by developing its spiritual inclination and serving her husband, she made great advancement. And in her heart, developed devotional service to Krishna. Of course, she also had 7 children, and the description goes on. So then, when Malayadhvaja wanted to retire, Vaidarvi also followed him, and they went to the forest. And Malayadhvaja was meditating on the Supreme Lord, and while meditating on the Supreme Lord, Vaidarvi was making for all arrangements for him. And one day, he left his body at his will, and he went back to Godhead. And Vaidarvi was broken-hearted, saying that her husband is no more. And then she made the funeral pyre and did the final rites. At that time, a Brahmana comes and says, "My dear Vaidarvi, do you know who am I? I'm your old friend. I've come here looking for you to help you. So I'm Avijnata, the unknown person. Actually, I'm very dear friend, but you don't know my name. I have come to reveal to you because of the grace of Malayadhvaja, you are getting my association, and because you perform devotion service, you are getting to see me." And that Avijnata was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, who has come in the form of Brahmana to give mercy to Vaidarvi. And hearing the instructions of this the Paramatma, Vaidarvi was also able to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is a very interesting story of Puranjana, where first thing you can see in the story is actually Puranjana is all of us. Each one of us is actually Puranjana. We are spirit soul, and we are staying in the city of 9 gates, 9 holes, which is this human body. We tried many bodies: animal body, tree body, bird's body, fish body. We tried everything. We are not happy. Finally, when we come into human body, we become very happy because this body has got wonderful facilities. So we are all very happy here, but we get married to our intelligence, materialistic intelligence, and we start doing materialistic activities. Not sinful activities, materialistic pious enjoyment. Like some people do puja for getting material results, some people do puja for getting children, for money, like that. So pious intelligence. And we spend our time in this body doing so many activities, and finally what happens? Death comes. In case of Puranjana, he was remembering his wife. But in normal case, whatever we remember, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, त्यजति अन्ते कलेवरम तम तम एवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भाव bhavita. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that whatever we remember at the time of death, we will get that kind of body. So that bhavana which we have at the time of death decides our next life. So Puranjana became a lady in the next life. So now just try to contemplate, take half a minute and see what is the quality of my consciousness. What kind of desires I'm cultivating? Am I cultivating desires to serve Krishna, or am I cultivating desires to enjoy material enjoyment? If there is even an iota of desire to enjoy material life, we have to come back again. Srila Prabhupada said that if you have a desire to eat gulab jamun, enjoy gulab jamun, you have to take human body again so that you can get to eat gulab jamun. But if you have a desire to offer gulab jamun to Krishna, we go back to Vaikuntha. But if you have a desire to enjoy gulab jamun, we are born again. So we have to transform these desires for sense gratification into desires for serving Krishna. We don't have to give desires. It's impossible to give desires. We can't be desireless. We have to fill our heart with desires to serve Krishna. That's what we have to do. So that is nothing but Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means what? It's very simple. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, Atmendriya Priti Icha Dhare Bale Kam Then Krishnendriya Pritivancha Dhare Prema. The desire to serve one's senses is called Kama, and desire to serve Krishna is called Prema. So what we have to develop? Kama or Prema? We have to develop Prema. Now there is Kama in the heart. Kama means desire to enjoy, desire to gratify oneself. That has to be transformed into desire to serve Krishna. That shift is nothing but Krishna consciousness. For example, I want to hear beautiful music and enjoy music. But just turn it around. I want to play nice music for Krishna's pleasure. I want to eat delicious foodstuffs. Just turn it around. I want to prepare wonderful foodstuffs and offer it to Krishna. And whatever Krishna eats, I will take it as prasad. That is Krishna consciousness. Somebody likes to earn money to enjoy Krishna consciousness, to enjoy sense gratification. Just turn it around. Okay, I want to engage money in Krishna's service, not for my enjoyment. Because money is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is wife of Narayana. So Lakshmi should be engaged in Narayana service, not in my service. So we serve Krishna with that. So whatever we are doing, do it for Krishna. So Prabhupada wrote in this purport, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. For this purpose, Krishna personally advises, give up all other duties and surrender unto me. Right? Give up all other duties and surrender to me. Means what? Whatever you are doing, do it for Krishna. Everything. Yat karosi, yat ashnasi, yat juhosi, tadasi yat tapasyasi, kaunteya, tat kurushva, madarpanam. Whatever we do, whatever you eat, whatever you do in charity, whatever you yajnas you do it for me, Krishna says. This is Krishna consciousness. So this art has to be taught. At the age of what? At the age of 5. We should teach children that at the age of 5 that we should not do sense gratification, but we should do sense purification. And how is that training given? By brahmachari training. So let's discuss a little bit about brahmachari training. Prabhupada wrote a lot about that in the purport. Prabhupada quoted from 7th canto, the later chapter, 12th chapter, where Narada is giving instructions on brahmachari ashram. Actually, Narada gives instructions for all the 4 ashramas. As you continue this Bhagavatam, you will come to that section where the duties of brahmachari, duties of grahastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa are very elaborately described in the 7th canto. The 7th canto discusses the topic of uti, good and bad inclinations. So every ashrama and every varna has got particular inclinations. And one has to engage those inclinations in Krishna service. For that purpose, it is mentioned here. So now, brahmachari. What is the duty of brahmachari? Brahmachari gurukule vasantanto guror hitam acharanda saban nicho guru sudruda sauhridam. So this verse defines brahmachari life. Where brahmachari should stay? He should stay in the ashram of Guru. Brahmachari gurukule vasan. A brahmachari training cannot happen at home. Why? Because generally at home there is comfort. Right? So that's why they used to send children to Gurukula. So at least morning they can go and come back in the night. That's also okay. But they should be trained by Guru, not by any other person. And parents also can't train sometimes because there's affection. Because of that affection, disciplining is not possible at home. So that's why generally children are very comfortable at home. But if you have to discipline children, then Guru's ashram is the best place. Because in Guru's ashram there is rules. Everybody gets up on time. In the morning at Brahma Murta, takes bath, and they clean their rooms, clean their school. Then they collect wood for yajnas, they do yajnas, right? So Samit Panihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Right? A student should approach the Guru with sticks in his hand, nothing but yajna sticks, arani. Because Guru is busy doing yajnas, so children go disciples go collect the wood, right? Samit Pani, Samit, the kind of wood is used for yajna. So they bring it to the Guru and offer it to the Guru. And they hear from Guru, they learn from Guru, they do service of the Guru. So this traditional brahmachari life. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan. Usually brahmachari sleeps on the floor, or because that helps in regulating sleep. And if somebody sleeps on a very comfortable Dunlop bed, thick bed, what happens? There may be difficulty in rising in the morning, isn't it? So a little bit austerity is good so that he can get up early. So then brahmachari goes sleep, vasan, danto guru rhythm. So he should control his senses for the pleasure of Guru. Control his eating, control his sleeping. So Prabhupada said here that brahmachari should go and beg door to door, right? I don't know whether in West it is practical, but in India, the tradition is that you go home back home to home. Even in villages, even now this happens. Bhavati Viksham Dehi, right? You knock on the door and say Bhavati Viksham Dehi, and somebody will come and give some atta, give some rice, give some. Right? When I was a small boy in my hometown, every day one particular sannyas used to come. Right? There is nearby a matha, Lingayat Matha. So the Lingayat Swamiji was there, was staying in that matha. Every day he'll come for rounds. He'll go home to home and he'll have a bag, jhola, cloth bag. And when he comes, then mother will say, go give some load of rice. So he'll take a rice. He'll not give money. So he'll take rice and pour it into his bag. Like this, he collects rice and goes to his mata, then cooks and offers it to the Lord, eats, and then distributes annadan to others. So this is traditional brahmachari or sannyasi life. So you should go with for begging. Now Srila Prabhupada very intelligently, he instead of requesting his disciples to beg, he introduced book distribution. So brahmachari's duty is to beg, but Prabhupada did it in the way of book distribution. Okay, go distribute books, collect money. So Prabhupada kept the principle, but changed the form a little bit. Instead of carrying a bowl and going for begging, Prabhupada gave books in everybody's hand. Go sell these books and get money and offer it to Srila Prabhupada or ISKCON. So in this way, that principle is kept intact. Because when you go for begging, that makes us humble. We feel very insignificant, we feel dependent. Similarly, when you carry books out for distribution, we feel insignificant. People may think something, they may pass comments. So he has no work to do, just simply distributing books. They may comment, why are you wasting your time? They may comment like that. So it makes us humble. At the same time, we are dependent on Krishna because we are wondering who will buy books, who will reject these books. We are waiting for the right person to come and take. So in this way, we are dependent on Krishna. So this book distribution helps us realize our dependency on Krishna and also keeps us humble. Then whatever books are distributed, you can give the scores to the temple, and whatever collection happens, you go to the temple, and in this way, one can follow the duty of a disciple or brahmachari. So of course, this book distribution can be done by both grahasthas as well as brahmacharis. It's the duty of a disciple to serve the Guru. So brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Danto Guru Ritam. It is said that whatever food he collects, he gives it to the Guru. And when Guru orders him, you should eat now, so then he eats. One should not eat without the sanction of the Guru. So that is a traditional rule. But in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada said, okay, whatever is made in the temple, whatever is made in the ashram, one can take that at the regulated time. Right? And one should not keep eating too much in between, so that that makes one lazy. Jivera lala se iti uti dhai shishnudara pada parayana Krishna nahi bhai. One is slave of tongue, belly and genitals, he cannot attain Krishna. Shishna udara parayana Krishna nahi bhai. So if a brahmachari wants to attain Krishna, he has to regulate his senses. So there is a story of Upamanyu. It comes in Vedas. It is said that he was a glutton. He used to eat a lot. So he was growing fat. So the Guru called him. Hey, What are you eating? Why are you growing so fat? It's not good. Then Upamani said, Guru told him that whatever you beg, you should give it to Guru, and then you can, whatever you beg, you should give it to the Guru. I said, okay. So Upamani went begging, and he used to give it to the Guru, but Guru saw that he's still growing fat. Again called him, said, what happened? Still you're growing fat? Yes, I beg and give it to you, and I again go for begging, so that I can get some food. So I eat like that. No. Whatever you beg, it should come to ashram. Said okay. So he was begging and giving it to the ashram, but he was going and drinking milk from the cows. And Guru said, oh, that's also not appropriate. Whenever I say, then only you should drink. So Guru wanted to teach him sense control. So that's why he was doing this. So one day Guru said, only when I tell, you should eat. So Upamani felt very, very hungry. Very hungry. So he went into the forest to look for some food. He couldn't find any fruits. He found some leaves on the tree. So he plucked many leaves and then ate few of them. And some of the leaves were poisonous. So when he ate some of the leaves, he went blind. He could not see. So with the blind eyes, he was walking in the forest and he fell into a ditch. He could not get up. He cried, but nobody heard his sound. So finally, he was very, very hungry. And he knew some mantras by which he can invoke devatas. So he chanted the mantra for Ashwini Kumaras, and the two devatas appeared. And they asked, what do you want? I'm very hungry. Okay, then take this bread. So they gave him some roti. And then Upamani said, oh, actually, I should offer it to Guru. Only then I can eat. Without offering to Guru, I cannot eat. So he was thinking like this. So as soon as he thought like this, that his heart, it goes to show that his heart was transformed, He was thinking of offering to Guru. As soon as he thought like this, his eyesight came back because Guru was very happy. So in this way, these stories tell us that how one should stick, a brahmachari should stick to the order of his spiritual master. So brahmachari gurukule vasant danto guru hitam, he should control his senses for the pleasure of his guru. Acharan dasavat nichaha, and he should serve the guru like a humble menial servant, by which he can attract the grace of the guru. Right? So, example, this Krishna and Sudama themselves, you'll see in this comes in 10th canto, 80th chapter, where Krishna Sudama Leela is described. Krishna and Sudama one day went into the forest to collect some wood. It became dark and it started raining heavily. There was so much heavy rain that entire area was flooded. There was no, they could not see where is highland, where is lowland. So Krishna Sudama stood under a tree waiting for the rain to stop. So they waited. The whole night passed. They were wet, they were shivering. They were holding each other's hand. In the other hand, they were holding wood. So this goes to show that we should have friendships with devotees, and also we should carry the mission of the Lord, mission of the Guru, so which is represented by the wood. So in this way, Krishna Sudama waited till morning, and morning, Sandipuni Muni himself came searching. Krishna, Sudama, where are you? In this, he came searching for Krishna and Sudama. Finally, he found both of them under a tree, fully wet. Then Sandipuni Muni comes close to them and says, Etavadeva hi satsishai kartavyam guru nishkritam. This is how a disciple should fulfill the order of spiritual master. Right? So Krishna and Sudama personally showed by their example who to serve Guru. Another example, after learning from Sandipuni Muni, they were graduating. At that time, Sandipuni Muni, Krishna asked Sandipuni Muni, tell me any Guru Dakshina I should give, what I should give. Then Sandipuni Muni said, I want my dead son back. So Krishna went to search for his dead son. He went to the ocean, he could not find. Then he went to Yamaraj, there he could find. And he told Yamaraj, give back the son. So Yamaraj gave the son and Krishna brought him back and handed over to Sandipuni Muni. Sandipuni Muni is very You have made me so happy. I bless you that whatever you study you'll never forget. Right? Chandamsi ayatayamani bhavantu iha paratracha. Sandipuni Muni blesses them saying that the Vedic sounds, mantras which you have heard, you will never forget in this life and also in the next life. So that's a blessing given by Sandipuni Muni. So when we serve the Guru with all our heart and Guru is happy, then Guru blesses. And Guru's blessings is the quickest way to make advancement. When Guru sees our service and he smiles at us, becomes happy at us, that is the sign that he's showing his mercy on us. Right? Recently, I was hearing a lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Vignan Maharaj, where he said that Guru doesn't have to say that I bless you. No, not required. If Guru is so happy in his heart, oh, this devotee is doing such wonderful service. If this thought comes in mind of Guru, that is good enough. Because Guru is having that favorable thoughts towards the disciple gets empowered by the Guru's grace. So the grace flows by the good wishes of Guru. So if we attract the grace of many devotees, good wishes of many devotees, then we make quick advancement. Because that grace is like a catalyst which carries us a long distance in a short time. So bhakti is a path of grace. And if you attract the grace of Guru and Vaishnavas, you will see we make swift advancement. Tandera charana sevi bhakta saneva janam janam yaya vilash. So Narottam Das Thakur is also saying that my desire is to serve the lotus feet of Shad Goswamis or the followers of Shad Goswamis. Right? Narottam Das Thakur also says that Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Payecha Keva. By giving up service to Vaishnavas, how can you attain moksha? How can you attain Vaikuntha? Not possible. Only by service to Vaishnavas can you attain Krishna. So there's the easiest path. And who is the greatest Vaishnava? Spiritual master. So by serving the spiritual master and by making him happy, we can make tremendous advancement. That's the beauty of Brahmachari. Vasam Danto Guroritam Acharan Dasava Nicho. Just like a humble menial servant, he should serve his spiritual master. Guru Sudruda Sahridam. And one should also have a strong feeling of friendship with the spiritual master. Friendship in the not in the sense of being familiar or being casual with the Guru. Sahridam means a heart-to-heart connection with the Guru. And one should be able to go and express his heart to the Guru. One should Guru should be affectionate to the disciple, and disciple should feel like serving the spiritual master. So there should be a very good, healthy relationship between the Guru and disciple. Sudruda Sauhrada. Because if that Sudruda Sauhrada is not there, then disciple is unable to express his heart to the spiritual master, and spiritual master will also not be able to guide the disciple with all his heart, because that heart-to-heart connection is not yet established. If you see in the case of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, such strong connection was there, isn't it? So how the followers of Prabhupada are ready to do any kind of service and go to the extent of taking risk for service, right? Srila Prabhupada once he said that, can anybody go to Japan and preach? If you go to Japan, I'll take the test of your lotus feet. And when devotees heard that, yes, this is very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, one devotee got ready, said, I will go. And Prabhupada was so happy that this devotee is helping me in establishing a mission in Japan. Right? So another devotee, Prabhupada said, you go to Pakistan. Another devotee, Prabhupada said, you go to Africa. Right? And the famous story of 3 couples going to London, isn't it? So you can see how the disciples loved Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada loved his disciples equally. So this feelings, good feelings between Guru and disciple is very good combination, and this combination can do wonders, right? A pure guru and a pure disciple. That combination can do wonders. So this is Guru Sudruda Sohla. So brahmacharya training is generally between the age of 5 to 25, ideally. Then one gets married, right? And those who, some of them may continue as brahmachari. That's called Naishtiki brahmachari. And there is another called Upakurvana brahmacharya, where a person gets married. So Srila Prabhupada writes about that, Upakurvana. Right? When he's fully trained, if he likes, he's allowed to marry. Right? And there are many people who did not marry, like Sripad Madhvacharya, or some of the Goswami, like Jiva Goswami, and also didn't get married. They directly Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So that's Naishtiki brahmachari. And those who take training and then get married, they're called Upakurvana brahmacharya. So somebody is not able to follow full life brahmacharya, at least the training has to be given. So it's a duty of all the parents to give a training to the children, so that their grahastha life is much better. A trained grahastha can gradually give up household life and then go to the forest. Okay, so one line before. Thus, he is not an ordinary grahastha who has learned how to satisfy his senses. Only how to satisfy his senses. But generally nowadays, dampatyam ratimevahi, right? Marriage is by agreement. I like you, you like me, okay, let's get married. Like agreement. There is no spiritual purpose to the marriage. Right? That's why we hear so many cases of breakups also, because there is no common cause for marriage. The cause for marriage is sense gratification. I please you and you please me. So because of that wrong purpose of marriage, the marriages don't last. So the purpose of marriage you can learn from Prithu Maharaj and Archie. You can learn from the great Grahasthas, Kardama and Devahuti. They give an ideal example of Grahastha life. So if somebody is not trained in that brahmachari life, then Grahastha life will be a life of sense gratification. So a trained Grahastha can gradually give up his household life, generally at the age of 50, and go to the forest to become increasingly enlightened in spiritual life, and at last take sannyas. And if he wishes, he can take sannyas. And sannyas taking in Kali Yuga is mainly for the sake of preaching. Right? If somebody wants respect and fame and something like that, that's not the good motivation. But the good motivation is to preach Krishna consciousness. So Prahlad Maharaj explained to his father that this world, this family life is like an andhakupam. Right? Especially those who are not practicing Krishna consciousness, for them, family life is like an andhakupa, a dark, deep well which is covered by grass. So if somebody falls inside, there is no hope of coming out, because he cannot climb on his own. Neither does anybody know that he has fallen inside, so nobody comes to rescue. So hitvatmaka pakam grihamanda kupam vanam gatolyat harimashriyada. So Prahlad Maharaj advised his father that he should go to the forest, Vrindavan forest, and take shelter of Lord Krishna in that forest. So this is the this called as Vanaprastha life. And then comes sannyasa life. So this is a very, very systematic path which was given in the which is given in the Shastras and which was practiced in the past. And in modern age, it is impractical to go to the forest after age of 50. So what is the solution? Okay, one can come close to the temple and increase one's spiritual activities. So that is something practical which Vanaprasthas can do. Right? So those who are retired Vanaprasthas, they can take up some services in the temple. So like in our temple also in South Bangalore, we have at least 6 Vanaprasthas who were very experienced in their material life, who were very successful in the material life. Now they are in their 60s, 50s, 60s. So they are retired and they have come close to the temple, and some of them are taking care of duty service, some of them are taking care of bookstores and book sales, some of them taking care of gift shop, and some of them taking care of maintenance. Some of them just in the temple or distributing Sharanamrit and collecting contacts of people who come there. So in this way, the Vanaprasthas have great experience and great maturity and also time. So they can do a lot of service. So that's how in modern Kali Yuga, Vanaprasthas can increase their commitment to Krishna. And at last, a sannyas life wherein one can travel and preach Krishna consciousness and inspire thousands of people to take to Krishna consciousness. So these are the 4 ashramas described here. So to return home back to Godhead, one must be completely free from material attachments. So this is the last theme which Prabhupada spoke, right? Vairagya. Raga means attachment to sense gratification. Vairagya means giving up. Viraga means giving up attachment to sense gratification. So one should give up this attachment to sense gratification and develop anuraga for Krishna. And raga means attachment. Attachment to material enjoyment is condemned, but attachment to Krishna is glorified. So vairagya should be cultivated, and which eventually lead to anuraga. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janatyash Vairagyam Jnanam Jayada Hetukam. So one develops vairagya and also one develops knowledge of Krishna, positive knowledge of Krishna. So when we this combination is very effective. Give sense gratification and cultivate Krishna consciousness. So this is what we have to do, right? So we can give sense gratification by understanding the nature of sense gratification. It is temporary and it leads to misery, and it is short-lived. Initially it appears to be pleasurable, later on it gives misery. So understanding the nature of this sense gratification, one should give it up. Ehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayone evate. That contact of senses and sense object is considered to be the birthplace of misery. So one should give up that contact of senses with sense objects with a desire to enjoy. Right? Because we cannot avoid coming in contact with sense objects. We surely come in contact with sense object, but we should not try to enjoy them, but we should try to engage it in Krishna service. Then they are harmless. That's called bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Engaging our senses in Krishna service is bhakti. But engaging in service of sense objects, that is entanglement. So this shift from being an enjoyer to being a servant of Krishna. So that is Krishna consciousness. Okay. So in the last, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, I'll just end with this point, then we can open up for some discussion. So Prabhupada mentioned, I'll repeat it again. Unless one is master of senses, he should not accept the renounced order of life, sannyas. A strong inclination for sense gratification is the cause of the material body. So we should purify one's material body, especially the subtle body. Without full knowledge, one cannot be unattached to material enjoyment. But as long as one is not in that position, one is not fit to return on back to Godhead. Means what? We should come to the stage of complete detachment from sense gratification and attachment to Krishna. Only then we can go back home, back to Godhead. So let us summarize. So we began our discussion with talking about the importance of human life, how a materialistic man wastes his 100 years, and what a little time remains, that's also wasted because of his uncontrolled senses. So Prahlad Maharaj says that one should practice Krishna consciousness at the age of 5. And at the age of 5, one should get training in Brahmacharya Ashrama. So we discussed some aspects of Brahmacharya Ashrama, which is staying in Guru's ashram, serving the Guru like a humble menial servant, and developing that feeling of friendship with the spiritual master. And the next was Grahastha life. A person can lead an ideal Grahastha life, Upakurvana Brahmachari life, if he has got good training. And then Grahastha life eventually leads to Vanaprastha life, and we discussed about how one can lead Vanaprastha life in the modern age. And then Sannyasa life, one can preach Krishna consciousness very extensively. And I just added a story of Puranjana in between to show that how the desires in subtle body give rise to our next body. So Krishna consciousness, the main purpose of Krishna consciousness is to purify the subtle body so that only the thoughts of serving Krishna remain, and there are no more thoughts of sense gratification. So that is Krishna consciousness. So, okay, so I pause here. Sorry if I took little extra time than what was scheduled. I didn't know how much time it is. So, and if there are any comments or over to the host.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful, very, very wonderfully explained about this, all the 4 types of ashram and the importance of how we have to be in Krishna consciousness always, and we have to divert our senses towards Krishna, as Krishna says that when we Prabhupada says that when we are doing whatever we want for our senses, then it is just waste of time, and it's just for our satisfaction, which will not yield anything. But when we divert it to, we cannot be quiet at any time. So we want to do some work, but if that all those senses, if it is diverted to Krishna, then it will be very good yield we can get in that sense. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And yes, I think you didn't take so much extra time, just only I think 10 minutes. It's fine. So but we were very happy with your classes, with all the ashramas very well explained. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So with your permission, we'll open the forum for question and answers. Dear devotees, any questions or realizations, please go ahead. And I just liked you were just bringing back Prabhupada's pastimes and all, Prabhuji, in between. So that was really very wonderful. Thank you so much for making us to remember, and especially the Puranjana story. Even though we have heard it many times, I'm saying to myself, but again and again, when we keep on hearing, it gets registered. Okay, we have to like how we have to be in our life. Thank you so much for making that also to get remembered. And so, devotees, any questions or realizations? And in Canto 10, you were saying about Sudama's story.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was also very, very nice to get to know about that and to remember about that. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So very, very wonderful pastimes you gave. Thank you. I'll just check the chat, Prabhu, if there are any questions. Yeah. Yeah, Bhagavati Harini Mataji is asked, book distribution, seva, makes us humble, but what about virtual book distribution?
Yeah, virtual book distribution is online book distribution through phone call, contacts. Yeah, so actually in COVID time, this whole domain of virtual book distribution got opened up. Before us it was there, but now it is more. So still, sometimes we get rejections. Sometimes people don't accept it. So still, we have to depend on Krishna, even in virtual book distribution, isn't it, Matari? So I have not done much of virtual book distribution. I have done more of physical and going to schools and distributing books in the schools to the children. So it was more physical for me. Virtual book distribution very less cited. Only during COVID, little bit through Bhagavatam sites I could do. But still, the principle is applicable there also. Same principle is applicable there. But more experience of humility and dependence we get in physical book distribution when you hit the streets. Our famous Vaisheshika Guru says, hit the streets, go on the streets, and then carry the books and approach people. So that gives better experience, and is my personal experience, that gives a better experience and realization of Krishna consciousness and dependence on God.
Okay, so virtual or physical, we have to depend on Guru and Krishna's mercy only, Prabhu. So even I think even during virtual also, like how when telemarketing phone call comes, we say just no, 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 don't, please,
We'll
we
take the call.
stay away. Like that, even we are also treated whenever we
I don't have time. You wrong number. I can't do it.
like that. Yeah. So thank you so much for giving that about that book distribution. Yeah, yeah. So many comments we hear. So they used to say that every year you are asking money for this as if like we are going to take it and run away. This is the mentality of these people. So yeah, and in your class you just explained about this brahmacharya. So when one follows brahmacharya, then in his old age to follow the varnashrama is easy. That's what you said, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
So, but I just have one general question. It is like when we are taking up to Krishna consciousness in our middle age, like we are not like few of the people, they don't take from the childhood unless they are fortunate. So, but many of us we take in the middle age, and what happens? The family members, they have seen us before, and after coming to, it's like totally different. And they used to say that you can do it in your 60 years. So why you have to do now? You can look after your family, children. All those stuffs are there. All those comments are keep on going on. So like I don't know, like how we can satisfy them, how we can make them to understand. Like here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that from 5 years we have to start, but we are not starting it from 5 years practically. But when it is in middle age, at least see, something is better than nothing, right? So at least in some age we have started and we are moving on.
Yeah.
So then how to reply to them?
Very true. Even Prahlad is speaking about this. Kaumar Acharat Pragnans start from the age of 5. But his own family had an objection for him. And now we are talking about practicing Krishna consciousness. So sometimes our own family members may have objection for our practice. But it doesn't mean that we should compromise and stop it. And Prahlad Maharaj, although he spoke to all the friends, and he knew that they'll be having opposition. Each one of them will have opposition from their family. But still he's preaching. That's his boldness. He's very bold and he's telling them that you should practice. And in case, no, imagine that's not described in Bhagavatam, but in case those children went to the home with Hare Krishna bead bag in their hand and all the Asura father and mother watching, hey, kya ho gaya tumko? What happened? Who gave this mala? So there'll be a big opposition for them also. But Prahlad still is taking the risk and preaching Krishna consciousness. And with his father, he was straightforward, but he was humble. He was respectful. So when a person takes to Krishna consciousness and he goes home and his family members come to know that he is taken up this Krishna consciousness, and then he's chanting Hare Krishna, then he's chanting 2 hours of Hare Krishna. It becomes too much for them to handle. 2 घंटे Hare Krishna, कौन शादी करेगा तुम्हारे साथ? You will marry. So this kind of questions, they will first thing they'll have onion garlic छोड़ दिया, oh, left onion garlic, and you have stopped eating in hotels and so many things, and they really get afraid, they get fearful what's going to happen to him. So actually when we introduce, when we get convinced of Krishna consciousness, and while we're introducing it to others, we should be really careful not to introduce Krishna consciousness as a too much set of rules and regulations. Prabhupada talks about it. There are rules and regulations, but we can introduce the rules and regulations at a later time. But initially we can say that it is chant Hare Krishna, right? So other things, no need to introduce initially to them. Just start chanting Hare Krishna. And when they start chanting Hare Krishna, they get some pleasure, they get some satisfaction in that. And they'll ask what to do next. Then we can tell them, okay, come to the temple, read this book, and introduce to the devotees and take some prasadam. So then eventually, oh, this prasadam doesn't contain onion and garlic. But it's so tasty. So then they'll understand, oh, without onion and garlic also food can be so tasty. So then slowly introduce rules and regulations later on. But what mistake generally devotees do is they introduce all rules and regulations in the beginning. and then don't tell the essence, which is to remember Krishna. So first Prabhupada said chant Hare Krishna and follow 4 regulative principles. So when you make them chant Hare Krishna, then following the regulative principle becomes easy, right? So if you can just take care of this, then I think that will help. And also some cases will be specific to individual. So we need some counseling of how to tackle with that situation. We can consult senior mentors locally and try to seek guidance in that regard.
Thank you so much. So we are just pulled into this moment by saying chant Hare Krishna and be happy and take prasadam. So when we come inside, then gradually when we know the process, okay, this much is there in this process. But still, we are after we get to understand that it's really very happy. We are relishing
when
it.
you know the importance, it becomes easy. You will follow it.
Yeah.
Those who don't know, they hear so many rules and regulations, they become afraid. We don't want to go to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I don't see any hand raise or questions in the chat box. Yeah. So everyone is praising that the class was very nice. Thank you so much, dear Prabhuji. And with your permission, we shall end the call here, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for being on the call.